relationship at the moment is South Central Unified, which is Sandy Creek. It's about 45 miles away from here, literally in the middle of a cornfield. It's not in a town. It's in the middle of a cornfield. They 3 years ago started a career pathway center, which is something that's pretty a lot of attention is really growing in the state of Nebraska. I know that there's some other states that are doing similar. I'm not paying attention to other states, so I don't know how popular it is, but in Nebraska, it's really starting to take off. Started with Grand Island, 6 or 7 years ago, probably maybe even longer than that. They started theirs, and it's kind of been a Me Too thing, which has been a really great thing because there's been a focus pulled away from so much college prep and focus back onto career prep. And so with the intent that a student as a junior and a senior can start taking tech college or college level classes and in theory could actually graduate high school already having a leg up on a lot of people that take college classes. So Sandy Creek was the first small rural school to adopt this career academy model, and they are putting their 9th career path in right now. But this last year, they literally knocked down half of their school and built a state-of-the-art career pathway center. And the ribbon cutting is next month. It's just absolutely amazing. The inside of it looks like a state-of-the-art university. It's amazing. They actually have, like on their healthcare side, they have the same classroom that the University of Nebraska has with the same equipment that the University of Nebraska has. We were fortunate enough to work with the manufacturing pathway. They approached us a couple of years ago. We're right at the onset of when they started the manufacturing pathway, how to get set up. So we helped them spec out the equipment and helped them a little bit with the curriculum. Actually, one of our former employees who was a graduate of that high school is now the instructor for the manufacturing program. So we have relationships at that level. We're doing stuff with some of the schools that are a little bit closer to us, trying to encourage them to get more into career pathways and career exploration. One of them, we're starting to work with them on some different maker spaces that both at the elementary school and high school level, and hoping that they're going to evolve that. They actually are starting to do a little bit more on manufacturing, actually just brought in a CNC lathe here to start some real basic classes. So we're making some headway there. But all in all, I'd say I think we have one other high school, being Grand Island, that we're really work closely with on the career pathway side. Hastings High, we're doing some work with them. So I guess there's about 5 or 6 high schools that we reach out to and try to work with. We, serve in some type of advisor role, or at least engage their instructors, help give the instructors exposure to what's going on here, and obviously, most importantly, getting the students involved and seeing what's all involved in manufacturing. Then at the college level, we're working with both Southeast Community College in Milford and Central Community College in Hastings with their manufacturing programs. Same type of thing, working really closely with their instructors, working with their students. Our goal is to have as absolute many tours through our facility in a given year as possible. Some years we have more than others. I think our high was like 14 or 15 different tours in one year, both high school and college, which we thought was really cool. It's something we're always trying to do more and more every year. But we're also looking at things like more we can do from a internship perspective in the summer, bringing students in over the summer, when they're off for summer break, seeing how they can get more engaged here. A couple of years ago, Scott and I worked with we're part of the Nebraska Manufacturing Advisory Council, which is a statewide group. And we worked really closely with several members of the state and other manufacturers in this state to try to get the rules clarified for if a 16 or 17-year-old could work in manufacturing in the state of Nebraska. And I think this is probably more common across the United States, where most manufacturers think that there's not a lot a 16 or 17-year-old can do in manufacturing. It's honestly quite the opposite of that. It took a lot of work, a lot of lawyers, a lot of different organizations, a lot of acronym organizations getting involved to figure this out. But when it was all said and done, we figured out that a 16 and 17-year-old can actually run an engine lathe, can run a knee mill, and then obviously can run a CNC equipment. They can't do some more basic things like run a hand drill or a cardboard baler, but we don't really need them to do that. So what that's allowed us to do is we've actually been able to start hiring younger students now. So we actually have a couple high school students right now that work for us part-time, which has been a really exciting thing. And we're hoping that that evolves down the road to where we can maybe start possibly, I don't know if we're going to go the apprenticeship route, but something along that concept where we can start bringing students in here and getting them exposed and actually getting them real world experience and a little money in their pocket at the high school level, help them through college and have them come back here and start a career at MetalQuest. That's the ultimate goal, is just trying to get that, get that farm team started. So 5 to 10 years from now, we have a nice steady stream of talent coming through our organization. And unfortunately, I find that a lot of companies like to complain about the skill gap and there's not enough people and no one's interested. But then it's really interesting when I look around, a lot of people aren't really willing to do anything about that either, where we put a lot of work into it. I personally put a lot of extra hours in because I feel this is something that's very important for our company and just for our industry to get these students involved. And you need to put a little effort into it. If you think that just expect that a teacher is going to know what to teach and to encourage them to go into manufacturing, you're wrong. It's never going to happen. When a teacher, especially at the high school level, they have mandates from the state and from their administration on what they need to teach and how they need to teach it. And if you as industry can go in and work with those teachers, you can actually start finding some creative ways to stay within their mandates, but to actually get the students more exposed to real world skills and have them understand what's out there. But the instructors, the teachers are never going to see that unless you start engaging them one-on-one. Because, they went to a 4-year school, and, our line of work, most people are hands-on learners, where most teachers are book learners. And so you're expecting a book learner who went to a 4-year degreed school to expect to encourage a student to go on some type of hands-on type education route and go to a what would be called more like a blue collar career. And that's not usually what those teachers are going to encourage their students to do. So it really takes you getting out there and talking to the teachers, talking to the parents, talking to the students, making them realize it's not beneath you to do this. Most students that come out with a 2-year degree honestly probably make more money and definitely have a lot less debt than someone going to 4-year degree. Obviously, there's a place for 4-year degrees. You're not going to have a 2-year degree doctor or lawyer, but you don't have to go to a 4-year school to be successful in life. And that's something that we really try to preach, that it isn't like you have this upper echelon of 4-year degree people are better and then 2-year people are, they're like this lower class. It's quite not that way at all. Absolutely not that way at all. It's just, what are you good at? And then be the best at whatever you're good at. That's the goal in life. So a lot of people are good at hands-on stuff. So we want to show them that this is one way of doing it. And honestly, we want to see as many people through as possible, but we also encourage them, maybe it's not manufacturing, but how about a plumber? How about an electrician? How about an auto mechanic? How about a carpenter? These are all really well-paying, challenging careers. You can make lots and lots of money at it, and there's nothing wrong with